Howdy gang, this is the Roaming Prepper channel, Pete here. I got a riddle for you, or at least for those of you who like to shoot. What's an option for an AR that's not an AR? Probably wondering what I'm talking about. I'll be right back and we'll talk about that. Welcome back everybody, this is the Roaming Prepper channel. Thanks for coming to check out the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you leave if you like the video, and leave me a thumbs up. I definitely do appreciate it. So in answer to that question, when is a 5.56 not an AR but still holds a mag? Well, that was something I was battling with for quite a while. I wanted something I could cross state lines with, but keep the convenience of having these and the ammunition, obviously. So I found a solution which I thought was really awesome, and it is this guy. This is called the Mossberg MVP. I'm going to back up a little bit so you guys can get a good look at it. This is a 5.56 millimeter chambered bolt action rifle. It is meant, now there are different variations of this for those of you who have not seen it. There are some that are longer barreled as well as shorter barreled, and it does have a big brother that is chambered in 7.62 NATO, aka the 308 American round. But this is a bolt action in the classic sense. It should be legal in every state. The only thing that may not be legal might be this guy. This happens to be a 20 round mag for those of you familiar with it. This is a Magpul, I believe, but yeah, it's a PMAG, but 20 and 30 round mags may not be legal in every state, but a 10 rounder may be, and there is a 10 round for this. There's also a little itty bitty 5 round depending on what your locale is. Bottom line is you can use the ammo you have and be able to cross state lines and stay in compliance depending on what you're doing. So let me give you a review of this bad boy, and I'm going to put it on the table so you can see it. But first and foremost, we're going to go with safety. So, as you can see, this is an empty mag. I've removed 5.56 from the area, and this is an empty rifle. So, it's always a good idea to double check, even if you just checked it. I check my weapons before they go in the safe, after they come out, and upon holstering and or slinging and unslinging. So important safety topic, guys. Always check your weapons before you manipulate them, and don't point them at people you don't intend to shoot. That being said, let's go and check this one out up close. Okay gang, so let's take a picture of this up close. As I mentioned, this here is a 20 round PMAG 5.56 aka 223, and it is the standard mag you would use in an AR, any of the variants of the NATO rifles if you have. Same mag. Now, this guy is the 5.56 millimeter, obviously. However, there is a 7.62, and supposedly it has an adapter here that allows you to fit both the AR-10 mags and the M1A mags from Springfield. I may be wrong on that, but my understanding was it could fit 2 types of mags in the 7.62 version, which also comes with a slightly heavier barrel to reduce recoil. So anyway, again, it's a nice feature to not have to buy a whole new set of mags for a nifty rifle. Part of the purchase idea. Now, what you notice here, the scope I mounted myself. This is a composite stock. There is a wood stock option. Bolt action in the classic sense. It does have a safety right here. It's very simple. Forward to fire, back is safe, and it has a safety and a 2-stage trigger. So it's a very light, oh, not like that. Should be a very light pull. I barely touched it. Once you depress that inner trigger, it only takes a very gentle push and you've got the second round gone, or the second stage of the trigger gun. So very neat thing. Ejection port to the right, as is classic, and it did not come with a Picatinny rail on top, or the accessory rail. So this one just had the screw holes. I had to purchase the tactical rail, or the Picatinny, and mounted it. I did use some Loctite, and it hasn't moved since. Now you'll notice, so it did not come with that tactical rail. It was kind of just an open top here with a little connection. You notice it does have the forward placed iron sights, which to me is a great thing to have. In the event this scope breaks or fails in the field, I can remove the scope and then utilize the iron sights. Because they're so close together and they're a little forward of where they normally would be, sighting it in was a little weird, but it was not impossible to do. There are versions with no iron sights, and there are versions with an iron sight back here. Now, when I mounted this scope, this is a Nikon BDC, so this is specifically a 5.56 millimeter scope. You zero the reticle at 100 yards, and then each mark below that gives me almost a 100-yard drop. So it makes it easy to sight in. You sight it in on a 100-yard range and you're golden. However, the scope is long, as you can tell, and as you can see, when I first mounted it straight on this rail, it was hitting this forward iron sight. So I was afraid it was going to either damage the scope or the iron sight, and I couldn't tighten down on the scope the way I wanted to. What I wound up doing was purchasing this this accessory to lift the scope up. Now it does make the cheek weld a little off because I had to go high, but in exchange I am not on this iron sight anymore, and I just have to have my head a little bit more upright. The recoil is relatively low. It's your typical 5.56, even though it's a bolt action, does not have a buffer spring. It shoots great. It's not a heavy recoil. Because of the bolt action and the way it's built, it's not only suitable for an experienced shooter, but also for a beginner. Because of the bolt action, you have that additional safety that they can only crack off one round if they do so by accident. Now, I added the sling myself. It's just a simple pull sling. The buttstock did have a rubber coat, or a rubber pad if you will, but the recoil is very insignificant. Now let's flip it around, and the release is right here. Actually, it's very simple. I can get both hands on it. There we go, and out it comes. That's it. That's your teardown, guys. The bolt is a classic locking bolt. I don't know if the camera's going to get that very well. Now, you'll wonder, well, how does it pick up the round? Well, if you note, under here is a little lip or a little edge. It kind of drops down. So, when it opens like that, that little tooth or that little ramp portion will drop and pick up the next round and essentially drag it out of the magazine and into the chamber. So, this is what it looks like with a 20 round mag. There we go. The profile is low. Now, I've tried to run around with it with a 30 round mag, but when you're trying to take a long distance shot with a scope, I found that the 30 round mag tends to hit stuff, especially with this flat profile rifle, and I have that little mag sticking out. To me, the 20 rounders seem to be the perfect length. Even the 10 rounders, those little guys, are good. You get the 30 round, it kind of hangs way the hell down here. And since this isn't a pistol grip, it was a weird feel. But guys, in any case, this has turned out to be a really great little ranch rifle. Again, it is, to my knowledge, legal in most states. The only thing that may not be legal is the capacity of that. The feel is good. The length is roughly the length of a 30-30 or an M1 carbine, for those of you familiar with those platforms. Recoil is nominal. I have not shot the 7.62 variant. The 7.62 version apparently, as I said earlier, has an adapter to utilize both the Springfield and the AR-10 style 308 mags. So that gives you some options. This was meant basically to train my sons in longer distance shooting, the basics of bolt action, without kicking their butt with something like a 308 or something heavier that, you know, little boys will get knocked over with. But it turned out to be a great truck gun, and this is one that goes with me to the hunting lease. When we're not hunting, we're just doing some work. It's light. Because of its short length, I can turn quickly with it. And if I have to walk or run with it, the felt weight is nominal. So folks, Mossberg MVP, really classy little rifle. I like it. You can see it's got a few scuffs. It's been getting used, and that's okay. That's why I got it. But again, you get all the benefits of the 5.56 in a long barrel without the legality problems of the pistol grip that you often see with the ARs. But you get to use the mag and the same ammo. I haven't done a comparison between 55 and 62 grain yet, but to be honest, this has been a pleasure to shoot, and it's been kind of the go-to for me lately. In any case, folks, this is the Roaming Prepper channel. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you may have found a solution to finding that rifle that kind of bridges the gap between a bolt-action rifle and a carbine. So check it out if you can at the stores. I have not seen one in a hot minute, but you never know, you might get lucky. Until next time, Godspeed if you're on the road. God bless to all our troops, and be safe and help folks out if you can. You all take care.